I'm already a millionaire in my mind. I don't see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way a seed is called by its finished form, I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life and have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. My name is Julian Gordon, and I'm author of Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. After becoming a multimillionaire through real estate investing, I was moved by God at the beginning of the pandemic to share my money mindset that allowed me to quit my job in January of 2009 at the bottom of the last recession and achieve full financial freedom. I own my mental real estate before I own any physical real estate. This book is like some of your favorites: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the Bible all in one. But the divine downloads and thoughts that are in here are 100% original and came for a 6-month period at the beginning of the pandemic. This book is normally $100 on Amazon if you went there right now, but I want to give you access to it for free by inviting you to our next reading group. Yes, the reading group is 100% free. Every weekday for 100 days straight, I'll be reading and discussing the 10 money commandments in the book that make money come to you in your life easily, more frequently, and abundantly. And it will take about 30 to 45 minutes as we read 3 to 5 pages per day until we finish the book and reprogram your mind around money. Why 100 days? Well, if you are 30 years old, you've lived for 10,950 days. And we have to deprogram and reprogram the negative, scarcity-based money mindset society has taught you. And I believe I can do that in just 1% of the time in about 100 days. I'm done with shelf help. You know, when you buy a book to change your life, but you never read it, it just sits on your bookshelf and collects a whole bunch of dust. We off that. When is the last time you had an author actually read their book to you out loud because they cared about you getting the information in your soul? I'm not just here to get this book in your hands. More importantly, I want to get it in your head and your heart, because that's where the real transformation occurs, in the conscious and the subconscious mind. As scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not the type of book that you just read once. To renew the subconscious mind requires repetition over and over and over. So if you joined us last time, I encourage you to join us again. I myself have read this book over 10 times already. So click the link to join our next reading group, and when you sign up, I'm going to give you the first 2 chapters of the book for absolutely free on what is money and abundance is your birthright, so that you can start your journey to a more abundant life today.
What's good, everybody? This is your boy Thavian coming back at you with another day of the reading of the Rich and Righteous. We are on day 42. We have also started a new money commandment. We're in money commandment number 8 right now, how the rich and righteous manifests. And if you remember from yesterday, my return readers, started with our first section in the manifest commandment, 3 ways to create. We got done with 2 of those yesterday, which was manipulation and manpower. Today, we're going to finish up that section on 3 ways to create, and we're going to start the day off with manifestation. The key to this section, manifestation, how we manifest. Make sure we pay attention at the end of the reading. We want to go ahead and get those takeaways documented in the comment section of the post. And if you're new, it's your first time joining us, make sure you check out the previous reading so you can get caught up. But we're going to go ahead and get today started, day 42. Julian is going to go ahead and kick us off so we can finish out this section.
Page 293. Manifestation relies on God's hand to get what God wants through you, knowing that God also wants what is best for you. It is you relying on the God in you, okay? Not relying on your time or your body. It is you relying on the God in you. It is the easiest way to create while also yielding the greatest results. God is the greatest lever you can pull, but there is a certain way to pull this lever to make it work. God is not your sugar daddy that just gives you whatever you want whenever you want it. Throughout the Bible, we see manifestations of wine, bread, fish, birds, unnatural disasters, victories, escapes, temples, and healings. And in Genesis, we see the manifestations of this world, mankind, animals, and nature. Manifestation is God's default way of creating, and therefore should be our default as God's, lowercase g. If I had the challenge, listen very carefully. If I had the challenge of rowing across an ocean to get to a distant island with 2 paddles. Manpower alone wouldn't get me there. Most human beings don't have enough body strength to row more than a few miles. The only way I could feasibly get to the other side is if I tapped into a power that is greater than me. In this case, that would be the wind. By using the creativity or the creator in my head instead of my hands, I could get the divine idea to create and use a sail and align with the wind, which is much stronger than I am, and allow it to carry me from one side to the other. In the same way, I know that I will get further on my mission in life when I am aligned with God's will, which is what I mean by righteousness. Righteousness is backed by God, breathing life into your cells in the right direction, and that power is unmatched. So, I don't lift weights, okay? So these little biceps here, these little biceps are not going to allow me to row across the Atlantic Ocean or all across the Pacific Ocean to get to the other side, okay? That is me relying on manpower and my physical body. But if I can tap in through the divine download and divine idea and say, hey, these muscles can't get me across this ocean. No matter how much weight I lift, no matter how much I train, these muscles can't get me across this ocean. But if I tap into the divine idea and the creator or creativity in me and say, wait a second, there is a power out here that I feel that is actually greater than me, and that is the wind. And I can actually catch that power if I create a sail on my boat. So instead of me relying on these 2 paddles to try to get from one side to the other, which will be limited by my body, and I will get tired very quickly, I can tap into an energy source and a power that is greater than me through a divine idea, through the power of my mind. And I can tune and adjust my sail to catch that wind and let it propel me to the other side of the ocean. Which one am I going to have a better chance of success with? Which one am I going to have a better chance of success with? By tapping into a power greater than me. Is this making sense? By tapping into a power greater than me. And so when you are walking in righteousness, right? When you are in your God-given purpose, you are literally backed by God. God is at your back. Actually, God is at your back and your front. God is not only the light that you're walking towards, but God is also the wind that you're pushing you. I did not get here in my life by myself. I did not get here in my life by myself. It was me being in alignment with a power that is greater than me. It is me being in alignment with the power that is greater than me. I'm no different than any of you. I came through a womb just like you. I shower, I shit, I eat, I do all the same things as you do. Why is my life having such great manifestation? And I hate comparison, but if you don't feel like you're manifesting at the level that you desire, at your highest level, at the level that I'm currently manifesting on, then you have to ask yourself, why? There's no difference between me and Julian. What did Jesus say? He said, you will do even greater things than these. Jesus didn't come to be an exception, came to be an example. But church and religion has taught you that this entity, this individual, or this narrative is an exception, that you could never be like that. But wait a second. The cell says you will do even greater things than these. I'm supposed to look at you as an exception or as the ceiling, but that I'm actually supposed to take the example and take it even further. It's right there in the scripture. Okay? So now we're on page 294. But you may be thinking the wind isn't predictable. That's one of the mental shifts you must accept when ascending from manpower to manifestation. Manifestation operates on divine timing, whereas manpower operates on our man-made timelines. Manifestation operates on divine timing, whereas manpower operates on our man-made timelines. I want to be married by 27. I want to have a house by 28. I want to have 2 kids by 30. I want to be a CEO by 32. I want to be a millionaire by 35. Where did that timeline come from? It is all made up in your mind, and it doesn't really matter. Your age is irrelevant because time is irrelevant. We live on a time continuum of here and now, here and now, here and now. Time is man-made, family. Time is a man-made invention to help us measure the distance between two things. It takes 15 minutes to get there, or I'll see you in 3 weeks. While it is helpful to coordinate some of our earthly tasks, we are not subject to time when it comes to manifestation. Some of you, when you tap into this power, when you align yourself with this power, it's going to happen for you like this. For some of you, you actually have to cultivate your belief for longer. So it may happen for you in 5 years. It may happen for you in 10 years. This is why we cannot compare. Because it's not about the effort that you put in. It's not about your time and your body. It's about your alignment. And when God knows, right? When divine intelligence knows that it's time for this idea to express through this individual. This is why you can't compare. But you must stay in position. You cannot compare yourself to someone else based on man-made time, but you must stay in position. And you staying in position is really an act of faith and belief that I've connected with God on a daily basis. God said, this is what I should be doing on a daily basis. I see other people popping off over here and here. Their trees are bearing fruit, and I'm sitting here waiting. Is that leading doubt? Is that leading me to doubt? Or is it actually strengthening my faith that my time is coming as long as I stay in position? We tend to call things that happen quickly manifestation. But manifestation is not about speed, family. We tend to call things, and yeah, everybody type stay in position. Everybody type stay in position. Because the scripture, everybody type stay in position. Don't move. It says, be still and know that I am God. Be still. You think that you're going to get somewhere through activity. And there are times where God calls you to act. But you are just filling up your to-do list with mindless activity, thinking that you're making progress. The scripture says, be still and know that I'm a God. Just stay in alignment with me, because if you stay in alignment with me, you cannot fail. Trust me, because if I gave you $1 million right now, you would not be prepared to receive it. You think you can, but I know where you are in your development process. You would not be able to receive it. If I gave you husband or wife right now, you would not know how to handle it. If I gave you child right now, you would not be prepared. If I gave you this responsibility right now, you would mess it up. You have to trust in the divine timing. And so you just continue to get ready and get ready and get ready and get ready. And readiness means you're staying in position. Okay, God, I don't know what your plan is. I'm checking in with you. You just told me to stay here. Okay, I'm gonna stay right here. I'm going and getting this skill set because you told me to go in this direction. So I'm gonna stay here. My scarcity mindset wants me to go over there because I see a financial opportunity, and I'm gonna just go chase that bag really quickly and then come back. But I'm gonna just trust you, and I'm gonna stay right here because this is where you told me to stay. We tend to call things that happen quickly manifestation, but manifestation is not about speed. Without time, there is no such thing as speed. Divine timing can be faster or slower than your man-made timeline. It is not linear or logical. You can only get there from here. So be here. You can only get to there from here. So be here so that you can get there. There must be something already within you or around you that you can access in order to get to the next step of your journey. It must be here. But again, you have to believe it to see it. It could be a relationship in your phone. It could be a website that somebody dropped on you. It could be a book on your bookshelf that unlocks the next level for you. If you remember playing video games and you were Mario Brothers or something, and you had to go find this little secret nook and you had to press this button in order for the level to unlock over here, it is here. The key you need to get to your next step. I'm not saying the full vision. The key you need to get to your next step it must be here. But if your mind is over there, then you're not looking at what is here. If you're so focused on where you're not, then you're missing out on what is here. Your personal capital, your intellectual capital, your social capital, the financial capital you already have, the human capital who's willing to support you, the physical capital that you already have to move to the next step. The kingdom of heaven is in your midst. It is right here. Everything that you need is right here. I've said this before. Do you realize that every ingredient in the iPhone was already here when the pyramids were built? All of the precious metals and physical ingredients in the iPhone were here. But the divine idea was not ready for the world yet until it came through Steve Jobs. Can you comprehend that? The iPhone was already here. But there was a certain divine timing that needed to unfold for it to be ready to manifest as this singular device. Manifestation is being able to see something that was already there. In truth, things don't manifest. Our thinking manifests things. Manifestation is being able to see something that was already there. Do you realize when I moved to New York, there was no Uber? There was no Uber when I moved to New York. There was just yellow taxis and black jiffy cabs and dollar vans. But somebody saw Uber where most people did not. I shouldn't have to go outside and hail a cab like this with my hand. Okay? I should be able to have an app. We have this iPhone now because it came through Steve Jobs. We have this iPhone now. We have GPS. We have apps. And then there are not only taxis, right? But there are also other people who drive their cars or who don't use their cars to the fullest and can make money doing so. Uber was already here, family. You just couldn't see it. In fact, you may have had the idea, why isn't there an app for that? The idea may have come to you, but it did not come through you because it wasn't for you. It wasn't for you, and that's okay. As long as you stay in alignment and in tune, you will continue to get divine ideas until you recognize one that is uniquely for you, that only you can manifest. Okay? So manifestation is being able to see something that was already there. In truth, things don't manifest. Our thinking manifests things. Everything is already here, family. They say there's nothing new under the sun, correct? If there's nothing new under the sun, then everything is already here. All the Legos are already here, family. You just have to find the right ones to build what you want to build. All the Legos are already here in the form of your personal, intellectual, social, financial, human, and they're already here. Stop asking God for things. Ask for God for the thinking or ability to see those things. That is manifestation. You're asking for a new perspective. That is manifestation. Everything's already here, though. I hope y'all catching this. Everything is already here. It's already here. You decide you're hungry. The bread is in the cupboard. The peanut butter or jelly is in the fridge. They're all just separate. And the knife is in the drawer. They're all just separate. And somebody had a divine idea to put peanut butter on one slice of bread, jelly on the other slice of bread, and then put them together to make a sandwich. It was already here. They were just separate. Everything is already here. Real estate has been here forever since man made the first huts. But even though I rented apartments throughout my 20s, I didn't see multifamily real estate as a pathway to financial freedom until my thinking was changed by reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I didn't manifest apartment buildings. Apartment buildings manifested by building myself. I did not manifest apartment buildings. Apartment buildings manifested by building myself. I elevated myself, and now I was able to see apartment buildings and multifamily real estate as a pathway to my freedom. Instead of being in the maze like a rat, right, down here in lower level consciousness, I was actually above the maze, and I could actually find my way out now because I elevated my wealth consciousness. That's what wealth consciousness allows you to do. It allows you to see possibilities from a higher perspective than you can when you're down here in the earthly realm. This is why in scripture, most of the patriarchs go up to mountains. Noah's Ark landed on Mount Ararat. Moses went up Mount Sinai. Jesus went up the mountain. The mountain represents higher consciousness, not a physical mountain. It represents higher consciousness. They elevated in consciousness. Jesus went to the top of the temple, went to his highest level of thinking, not a physical structure. You think Jesus gonna let some devilish spirit have him climb up on a roof? Just think about that. Oh, Jesus is just letting this devilish spirit take him by a chain and take him up to the top of the temple. You think that's what happened, family? No. Going to the top of the temple is allegory for going to the highest level of thinking where all possibility exists, where I can see the entire realm beneath me. Well, I'm not locked in by this physical body, but that my imagination and my connection with God can take me to a higher level of thinking than I'm actually experiencing in the physical realm. As I said before, I own my mental real estate before I owned any physical real estate. As 1 Corinthians 15:52 says, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. Notice that it says, we shall be changed. It says, we shall be changed. It doesn't say your situation is going to be changed, because this is how most people pray from a place of begging. Oh, God, change my situation, change my boss, change my mom, change my husband, change this, change that, change everything outside of me. No, it says, we shall be changed. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Not from trying to change all these things outside of you. Instead, you change. If I'm going to change the world, I need a world of change in me. You want to change the world by changing other people. Oh, I need them to change. I need the white man to change. I need the government to change. I need men to change. I need women to change. I need this race of people to change. I need this to change. You need all these things outside of you to change, but you're not willing to change. You're going to be waiting a mighty long time to have your heaven on earth when you're waiting for everything outside of you to change. I need the school system to change. I need the food system to change. I need this. I need the automobile companies to change. I need colleges to change. You need all these things outside you to change instead of you just changing. And and that when we change or change, manifestation can happen in the twinkling of an eye. Notice that it says we shall be changed, and that when we are changed, manifestation can happen in the twinkling of an eye. All of a sudden, you see a possibility that you could not see yesterday. You just manifested something. It was already there. Everything is already here. But what changed was your mind, which then changed your sight, which allowed you to see a new possibility that you could not see the day before. So manifestation is really the ability just to see at a higher level. And even when it's not in your physical experience, even when you can't see it with your two eyes, means that you're seeing it with your third eye. If thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. When your eye, your third eye, which is really your first eye, is in alignment with God, you can see everything in the light. You can see all possibilities. All things are possible. All things are possible. Nothing is off limits to you, except to the degree that your mind has limitations and limiting beliefs. Page 295, middle paragraph. Manifestation isn't based on deadlines. Belief has no timeline. You till the soil of your mind until the thought seed manifests. Everybody type un-till. You till the soil of your mind until the thought seed manifests. Don't until anything until you actually see the manifestation. Don't plant a seed, see that because it's underground, you can't see it growing, so you go dig it up and you start the process all over. That's what many of us do. We plant a seed, and because it's not growing on our man-made timeline, we go dig it up to see what's happening. But when we dig it up, what we're doing is we're restarting the clock. We're starting the process all over again. Because you go and until it. You go lift it up. Why aren't you growing? Let me dig down in there. Because the way God operates in the unseen realm. Bamboo grows underground for like 7 years before it shoots up. Bamboo grows underground for like 5 to 7 years before it shoots up by yards. So you till the soil of your mind until the thought seed manifests. I've told you this before. Do not commit to anything unless you are committed to it for at least 10 years. You ready to start that new business? Don't do it unless from the beginning you are at least committed to it for 10 years. If you're not committed to it for 10 years, then don't start it. That's just going to be an idea that you hop to, and then as soon as it's not working, then you're going to hop to another one, and then as soon as that's not working, you're going to hop to another one. I want you to commit to it for at least 10 years. I started my real estate journey May 2013. I'm 9 years in. I'm going on my 10th year now, family. 10th year of being dedicated, focused to tilling this soil until it manifests. And you've seen the manifestations in my life because I was committed to it for a long term. Whether it happened in 1 year, whether it happened in 20 years, I was committed. That is what belief is. That is what faith is. Don't start that next business idea if you're not committed to it for 10 years. Otherwise, it's just a little quick hustle. And quick hustles come and they go. Some of y'all started a Turo business because it was hot. Oh, let me go start a Turo business. I see people making money with cars. And now you sitting on inventory. Now you sitting on leases. Oh, let me go start a trucking business because I see a lot of people starting trucking business. Now you're trying to liquidate the truck. Oh, let me go start a dropshipping business because I see people making money on dropshipping. Are you committed to this for 10 years? Because over that 10-year period, guess what? Those who are only in it for a little quick hustle, they fall off the moment it gets hard, right? Which means less players are in it and allows you to excel when they drop off. Real estate is getting a little bit more challenging right now with interest rates and with sellers who are still locked into COVID or 2021 prices. It's getting more challenging than it was before. And guess what? All the other quote unquote real estate educators that started popping up because they saw what I was doing, guess what? They are going to fall off. They are going to fall off. They've never navigated real estate in the midst of a quote unquote recession. Some of my students are finding the best deals now because they have this abundance mindset. I'm seeing 25% to 30% cash on cash return on their deals. Because we till the soil until it manifests. We don't let external conditions dictate how we move. We don't let the rising interest rates dictate how we move. I believe that there's always a deal. I'm under contract on a deal right now. This is going to be one of my sweetest deals in Atlanta. I didn't let the external, all these hedge funds are buying up all the single family homes. The interest rates are rising. It's hard right now. Plug my ears to all that. I believe that there's a deal out there for me, and I'm going to keep tilling this soil until I find a deal. Now, I desire a large apartment complex. My deepest desire, right? But guess what? In the meantime, When I see a layup, I'm going to take it. When I see a free throw, I'm going to shoot it. And so right now, I'm finding free throws and layups in the meantime. The Lord's Prayer says, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Remember that when something comes to you, you don't have to go anywhere. Instead, you attract it. It doesn't say chase the kingdom. You know, they tell you to chase the bag, you paper chasing. They're telling you to chase. When you're running after something, that means that it is more powerful than you. When you're chasing something, you are being sucked into its gravitational pull. It means that it is more powerful than you. This is why, for those of you who are paper chasing, right? You out here hustling and getting money. This means that this substance is more powerful than you are. If you understood your power, you would know how to be still, stand in your value, and in doing so, this would naturally attract to you. Anything that you chase has power over you, family. But scripture says, thy kingdom come. Not go chase the kingdom. It does not say, go chase the kingdom. It says, thy kingdom come. Just like you hail an Uber, it comes to you. You don't have to go chase it down. Keep in mind that when you manifest, you're not attracting something outside of you to you. When you manifest, you are not attracting something outside of you to you. When you are attracted to someone, you see them and accept them in the here and now. The same is true when you're attracted to something. You see it and accept it here and now as it is for what it will become. Again, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, when you look at a package of seeds, you do not see the word seed on the package. All you see is pumpkin. All you see is squash. All you see is asparagus. All you see is watermelon. The word seed is not even on the package. So you accept it in the here and now, even if the physical form does not represent what you ultimately desire, you accept that it is already here, right here and now. So I'm going to repeat that. Keep in mind that when you manifest, you're not attracting something outside of you to you. That's what people think. Oh, I'm manifesting it. I've attracted it to me. No. When you are attracted to someone, you see them and accept them in the here and now. And the same is true when you're attracted to something. You see it and accept it here and now as it is and for what it will become. Think of manifestation as if you misplace your keys in your house. Think of manifestation as if you misplaced your keys in your house. You know that they are there because you got in the house, right? How many of you lost your keys recently? Right? You know that you got in the house somehow, so the keys to your car must be here. They must be here somewhere. Unless somebody came in the house and stole them, they must be here, right? Because you got in the house. Knowing is greater than thinking. Knowing is the highest form of belief. You know what they look like in your mind. You just don't see them right now, and therefore you don't have them in your possession yet. So you can possess it in mind because you know what your keys look like. You just don't have them in your physical possession at this moment in time. You've accepted and know that the keys are here. You can even visualize them in your head and in your hand. You just don't have them in your physical possession yet. So what you have to do is the one thing to never say in this situation is what? What is the one thing to never say in this situation? The one thing to never say is that they are lost. They are gone. They are not here. Because now you're releasing them from your mental possession, and now you move to a place of giving up. But the fact that you got in the house means that you know that they are here. Are you understanding? So you have three options. Trace your steps, overturn everything, or just be still. Retrace your steps, overturn everything, and or just be still. Whatever path you choose, you end up finding them because you knew they were there all along. The same is true when manifesting anything. You must know and believe that whatever you want is here, is there. You just can't see it yet. Therefore, you don't possess it yet. This is why Matthew 7:7 says, seek and ye shall find. Seek and ye shall find. To begin seeking, first, you must believe that something is there. And if you keep looking for and appreciating evidence, breadcrumbs, synchronicity, and coincidences of its presence, it will eventually appear right before your eyes. In Matthew 25:13, the Lord or the law said, therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. Consider how long it takes various things to manifest. How long does it take to find love? How long does it take to become a millionaire? How long does it take to find your purpose? How long does it take to achieve financial freedom? Any answers to those questions? Any answers to those questions? There is no set amount of time for any of these. There's no set amount of time for finding love. I just saw an Instagram video where a couple had met, dated for got married in 5 months, been together for 30 years. Been together for 30 years, happy. Not just been together, but happy. See, you have all these timelines connected to all these things. There's no timeline for finding love. There's no timeline for becoming a millionaire. There's no timeline for financial freedom. There's no timeline for finding your purpose. It can happen in the twinkling of an eye when you are in alignment. So I'm actually inviting you to release your man-made timeline and just believe and show up and keep tilling for as long as it takes. There are no set amount of time for any of these. These aspirations are not linear or logical. These manifestations vary for each individual. So what causes this variation in time? The variation is caused by the individual's alignment with God and belief in God. The variation in timeline is caused by the individual's alignment with God and their belief in God. Like the bridesmaid, make sure you keep enough oil in your lamp as you await the wedding. The moment where the two become one, where you and the thing that you were separated from actually become one. That is the wedding. That is the wedding. That is the allegory of the bridesmaids with the oils in their lamp. Some of them did not carry extra oil. And so their lamps went out. They moved into a space of darkness, which is, this will never happen for me. But those who knew that I need to keep oil for my lamp, I need to keep this light on, I need to keep it burning for the wedding. Because in the wedding, the two, the you and the thing that you were trying to attract and manifest, in the wedding, the two become one. This is when you attract it. But do you have enough oil? Do you have enough faith? Do you have enough belief in your lamp to withstand and endure however long it takes for the two to become one? Do you believe enough in it for the two to become one? Sometimes your faith and your belief is the only thing that's really being tested. God is literally saying, I want to see how good, not how bad, how good they really want this. I'm going to test it out a little bit. I'm not just going to give it to them easy, because then they get spoiled. So I'm going to test how good they really want this by causing a little wait. Does their belief wane? Does it change as time goes on? Or does their belief strengthen? Is their belief consistent regardless of what's happening externally, how long it's actually taking? The wedding is when the two, you and the thing that you're trying to attract, become one. When you are deeply engaged in something or with someone, time is not a factor. The only thing that matters is the moment you are in. Instead of time passing, time is bending. As you seek to go from point A to point B on your journey, A being above and B being below, know that B is already here, like the entire redwood tree is already inside a seed smaller than a dime until it unfolds 100-fold into something greater. The below is already here. Can you hold it above long enough for it to manifest? The entire redwood tree is already inside the seed. But if you are only using your physical eyes to say, that's not a redwood tree, well, it's an acorn, and redwood trees grow out of acorns. So yes, that big redwood tree that you can't even wrap your arms around, it actually came from this. Can you hold that thought seed long enough for it to manifest into that big redwood tree? Or are you going to allow your two physical eyes to deceive you that it is not growing, that is not possible? Manifestation bends time by unfolding in ways that time can't account for. If you have a timeline on something, then you don't truly believe it. If you have a timeline on something, this needs to happen in 2 years. This needs to happen by the end of this year. This needs to happen within the next 5 years. If you have a timeline on something, then you actually don't believe it. You've pre-declared a future point in time where you will no longer believe in what you are creating. And every day you get closer to that false deadline, the idea dies more and more until it flatlines. This needs to happen for you in 2 years. Okay, what happens when we are 1 day before the 2-year mark? Where's your faith at that point? Your faith is actually going down according to the false timeline that you created. Your faith is diminishing based on the false timeline that you created. Oh, it's getting closer. Oh, I don't know if it's going to happen by my 30th birthday. I don't know if it's going to happen by my 40th birthday. My faith is getting weaker and weaker because I set a false timeline. You pre-declared its death. What if it would have happened the day after? But because of your false timeline, you gave up. What if it would have happened the day after your 40th birthday, but because of your false timeline, you gave up? Your lamp ran out of oil. You ran out of faith. It's like a doctor telling a patient they have 6 months to live and they die sooner because they believe in the doctor's timeline more than divine timing. The moment that doctor puts on a timeline, who the hell do you think you are to put a timeline on life, to tell me about how much time I have to live? How many of you know somebody who lives well, way beyond the timeline some doctor set for them? You are not God. You don't tell me when my last breath is going to come. Only one being and entity can do that. I reject your timeline, doctor. I don't care what school you went to. I don't care how long you've been in this profession. I don't care what pattern you've seen. I reject your timeline. I don't even believe in timeline. All I believe in is a divine timing. I'm not letting your doubt infect me. I'm not letting your doubt infect me. The not so secret to belief is that you must believe until it happens. The not so secret to belief is that you must believe until it happens. Okay? What if you just kept believing? The question is, what if you just kept believing, family? What if you just kept believing? Why? Because if God gave you the thought seed in the first place, what if you just kept believing? What if your belief didn't wane based on external conditions or based on false timeline? What if you just kept believing without your faith wavering? Do you think you would manifest more? Either way, either you're going to believe it until you receive it, trusting that if it is in alignment with God's will, it will manifest, or you're not. To believe or not to believe, that is the question. To believe or not to believe, that is the question. A believer isn't constantly looking at their watch asking when. They know their why and they never waver. When you believe, when is irrelevant. When you believe, when is irrelevant. When you create through manifestation, God is the battery in your back. You tap into an infinite source by aligning your vision with the vision the Creator has for you. When you create from a place of alignment, you move in faith, not fear. You know you're worthy, so you don't worry. You know you're worthy, so you don't worry. You let go and submit to your higher self instead of allowing the ego to protect your smaller self. And you pray and attract what you want rather than pray and chase after it. Everybody type, I don't pray, P-R-E-Y. I pray, P-R-A-Y. Say, I don't pray, P-R-E-Y. I pray, P-R-A-Y. When you pray, you are on the look, you hunting, you going after something, you chasing. I don't pray on anything. If it's mine, it's mine. And when I'm in alignment, it will come to me as I stay in constant prayer, constant connection with the source. I don't pray on anything. I don't chase after anything. I attract things into my gravitational pull that are meant for me. In addition to believing, you must still take consistent action on earth. You must be in position and do your part to stay in alignment and on assignment by meditating, learning, networking, and working. You are not waiting for divine intervention because God is always at work. It only looks like divine intervention when you can't see everything that God is doing behind the scenes on your behalf. Oh, God just did a miracle. That was divine intervention. No, God has been working on your behalf behind the scenes in the unseen realm the entire time. Just because you didn't have the third eye to see it doesn't mean that God was not working for you. God is never not working on your behalf. All things are working together for your good at all times. We call it divine intervention when we only see the last moment. But if you could actually see everything that was actually conspired and orchestrated for this moment to come to be, you would realize that, oh, this is not divine intervention. God has had my back the entire time. God has been working on my behalf, moving me towards my higher self, moving me towards my divinity, moving me towards my godhood the entire time. I just couldn't see it. So then when this moment happened, I called it divine intervention, as if it was just this one moment that God was showed up for me. No, God has been showing up for you. You just couldn't see it. In any success story, there are always unexplainable, miraculous moments, both big and small, that cause exponential growth. They come in so many ways, including a relationship, an aha moment, a sermon, a sentence in a book, a new technology, publicity, a mistake that led to a discovery, or an investment. Be open to how it comes, family. When you are aligned with God and have the faith of a mustard seed, you allow God to move in you, through you, and as you, and nothing can stop it. How is it that some people have big impacts on the world and others don't have any? I believe that the way to get the lever to work is the ABC: alignment with God's will and your God-given purpose, belief in what you are creating, and consistent action until it manifests. I'm going to give you the ABCs again. A, alignment with God's will and your God-given purpose. B, belief in what you're creating. And C, consistent action until it manifests. These are the ABCs. Last page, 298. Please don't be misled. Manifesting is work. Please don't be misled. Manifesting is work. Manipulation focuses on having, manpower focuses on doing, and manifestation focuses on being. Being and believing. You are a human being and working on yourself. Please don't be misled. Manifesting is work. Manipulation, the first one we talked about, is focused on having. What can I do to get over on these people to have what I want? Manpower is focused on doing. Here's what I need to do. And manifestation focuses on being and believing. You are a human being, and working on yourself in this way is a different kind of work than working for, in, or on a business. In the same way that CEO to-do list looks a lot different from an entry-level employee, your work as a master manifestor will be different from someone relying on manpower or manipulation. When you show up here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single weekday, guess what? You're doing your work, family. When you're meditating in the morning, you're doing your work. When you're doing your devotion, you're doing your journaling. When you're doing your Reiki, when you're going on silent retreats, when you're taking a walk in nature, when you're grounding yourself, you're doing your work. This looks different. This looks different than the traditional to-do list that you're used to. See, manipulator and somebody who relies on manpower, their to-do list is going to look different than a manifester. Because a manifester, our goal is not to hustle. Our goal is to be in alignment. And so we do these things that don't look like work, but at the end of the day, they actually move us forward and they actually bring the kingdom and queendom to us faster. Each type of creation comes with its challenges. Manipulation challenges the soul because when you're getting over on other people, you start to lose your soul. Manpower challenges the body. We know that the body is limited, right? And manifestation challenges the mind. I'm going to repeat that. Manipulation challenges the soul. Manpower challenges the body. And manifestation challenges the mind. The way a master manifestor creates is more internal as opposed to external. When you unify right thinking in the mind with right action in the body, with right direction in the soul, your yield in life will be 100-fold. Everybody type that. Right thinking, right action, right direction. Right thinking, right action, right direction. Right thinking, right action, right direction. This is righteousness, family. Right thinking in the mind, right action in the body, and right direction in the soul. Your yield in life will be 100-fold. Right thinking means that you are clear about who you are, whose you are, and why you are here. Right action means that you are beyond doing what you are supposed to do according to parental and societal programming, and that you are committed to your unique purpose, not just a profession. And right direction means that you have submitted your will to be in alignment with God's will, knowing that God's will includes that which is best for you and more. Right thinking in mind, right action in the body, and right direction in the soul. This is what it means to live a righteous life. See, there's a story of this lumberjack. And I think I might have shared this with you. There's a story of this lumberjack. They were in a competition. And the goal was to see who could cut down the tree the fastest. And the competition begins, and one lumberjack takes his saw and just starts hacking away at the tree, right? The other lumberjack takes a moment to sharpen his saw. And all the onlookers are like, what are you doing? You need to be hacking away. He's getting ahead of you, right? But he takes a moment to sharpen his saw first. And then he starts hacking at his tree. And because he took a moment to sharpen his saw before he started engaging in work, he was able to cut through the tree faster and easier and win the competition. When we come here at 8:30 a.m. on weekdays, we are sharpening our saw. We are getting in alignment with God so that when we go out into the world, that our work is easier. We don't believe in the struggle is real, and that our manifestations are greater than we could have ever imagined. All right?
All right. This concludes day 42. So in this section here, the three forms of creating: manipulation focuses on having, manpower focuses on doing, the physical, and manifestation focuses on being in the moment. One takeaway was the ABCs. In order to manifest, you must be in alignment with God. A, alignment. B, belief. Believe in what you're doing. Believe in what you're creating. And then C, consistent action. Taking consistent action on what you believe. Stand in alignment, stand focused, stand engaged, and eventually it will manifest as long as you believe and you're taking action towards those. So ABCs: alignment, belief, consistent action. Those are my takeaways. Make sure I get your takeaways in the description section of the post, the comment section. Let me get those takeaways. If you're new and you do not have a book, let's go ahead and click that link below and get the book, man. Day 42, officially in the books. I'll see y'all on the next read. Salute.